Danae. I want to welcome you all to episode 2 of Anchored Hustle. And for this episode, we're going to talk about my decision and some of the thoughts I had to join the Navy. So starting from kind of the beginning, I graduated high school 2012 from Shaker. I went to school at Loras University in Toledo, Ohio. I did play basketball. My major was accounting and finance, and then I had a minor in logistics. Logistics has always been a big thing for me. I love numbers, I love equations, so that's why I was like accounting and then logistics. So my college career at Loras ended my sophomore year, and I transferred to Cleveland State. And at Cleveland State, I completed the rest of my degree, which was international business and logistics. And then I had a minor in accounting. So, what does that look like going into the Navy? I'll tell you guys. I'm not going in as a regular enlisted soldier. Let me correct it. I'm not going in as a low-level enlisted soldier. I'm going in as the highest enlisted, which is an E3. Because of my college credits, I couldn't pursue officer school due to some background reasons, so I'll get into that later. But I'm going in as an E3, and my decision just kind of came from just the history of what I've been through when it came to work. So straight out of college, I had worked for a window cleaning company, Fortune 500 company. I kind of ran their office, and their main office was here in Cleveland, and they had cleaners in PA, Indiana, what am I thinking? A couple of other places. So I ran all of that. So then I pivot. I worked for a manufacturing plant, and I was handling their logistics and their shipping and receiving. So that actually was one of the first times I got wrongfully terminated. They looked over me because of my age, because at the time I was really young. Pivot again. So at this point, I am kind of in my 5-year relationship with the guy I was with then, and my whole thing was we were supposed to get married. First of all, he was supposed to propose to me straight out of college, and he denied. Let's start with that. And then I was supposed to get into my big girl corporate job, and he was supposed to marry me. He did not. So I had ended up finding another corporation to work for, and it was in partnership with Key Towers. Well, I stayed with them for a bit, and they ended up shutting down that whole facility. So guess what? Yep, heard it again. So at this point, I am dogged. I'm just and mind you, your girl loves living a certain way. So I'm trying to figure some things out, and I just remember me and him had a conversation, and he was just like, get a job at Walmart. So I pivoted to retail. From Walmart, it was DG. From DG, I worked at a daycare for some time too. After Walmart and before DG, but the daycare, that's like family. She was looking out for me type thing. I was administrator, again, leadership position. I've maintained leadership positions since I was pretty much out of college. It's never been a time where I wasn't in leadership or had a leadership role. But yeah, after DG, I ended up finding Brownsford. I was part-time, and I ended up working at a mattress factory where again, leadership, they didn't want to promote me again. So after I had got promoted to operations at Browns, I had pretty fast. I moved to GM pretty fast. I put the work in. I got a great recommendation from the manager that was there at that time, and he saw my work ethic, etc. So they ended up promoting me to GM. So now I'm with this company. I've been with this company for 3 years, blah, blah, blah. And yeah. So on a ripe day of February 3rd, they came in. They flew in from Dallas or Pflugerville, wherever the fuck it was in Texas. And they just like, yeah, we gotta let you go. Me being a non-confrontational type of person, I'm just like, okay. I kind of knew it was coming because they had fired my fitness manager a couple of days before, like the week before. And they had my replacement. So they had took him to Texas and trained him up, but they didn't do that for me. So if that's any consolation, and of course, there was race involved. If that's any consolation of the things that I went through in my job field working for these corporations, yeah. So, fast forward. At this point, I'm no longer working at Browns. And I'm on unemployment. I have no shame in my game. I got unemployment. I had a conversation with my mom. My mom just was like checking in on me because she knew it was hard for me to have this happen to me, and I did nothing wrong. Truly did nothing wrong. They couldn't tell me a policy I broke. They couldn't tell me what I did wrong. I was in there 13, 14 hours a day fixing shit like I'm a maintenance man, running a gym, doing sales, and not to mention, I was still getting in shape. If that ain't hustle, I don't know what is. Okay? Let's keep that in mind though. So, I was talking to my mom, and she's like, "You okay?" Mom, no, I'm not. I don't know what I don't know what I want to do anymore. I pivoted into a space where I'm actually helping people. I'm comfortable. I understand the whole dynamic of this field. Like if it wasn't fitness, I didn't want to do it no more. Like I didn't want to go back to retail, and I damn sure didn't want to go back to these corporations and manufacturing and sales because they didn't appreciate me. They wasn't trying to pay me like how I wanted to get paid. Browns was actually doing a good job of that, and I shout Browns out for that because they were paying me nice. I ain't have it all. I still have my side hustle where I was working because I'm just never satisfied. I don't have a man, y'all. That's why. So I'm like, I'm not okay, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go with this, but I'm gonna figure some stuff out. So I was like, if I gotta go to the military, I think that's on the tape. That's an option now. And she go, the military? Mind you, at the time I did have my vices. The Navy does know this. I'm clean now. But I had my vices. She's like, you gonna have to stop such and such. I'm like, all right, I know. No more tattoos, I know. Not till you get in hurt. So I'm like, she like, what branch you want to go to? So my first choice was the Air Force. The Chair Force, as they call it. Couldn't get into the Air Force because of these. They was not having it, y'all. They don't mess with hand tats. And I got a neck tat on both. Like, they was not having it. So then, I was not going to the Marines. Now, I would have did the Marines because my dad was a Marine, right? That would have been like, my last option. Not gonna hold you. But I didn't want to do the Marines because I had back surgery, and I knew the type of like grit it was going to take to get through the Marines. And I always hear horror stories, even from him, like what it took for him to get in. And he was an outstanding Marine. Y'all should see my dad. My dad was an outstanding Marine. Shout out to him. But I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I know my limitations. And the 15 pull-ups alone, your girl wasn't doing that. So, and I didn't know what the qualifications were for a woman at that time. And I didn't want to find out either. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So it was between the Navy and the Army. Now, my sister is currently in the Army. I'm at the Navy, sorry. Nobody I know is in the Army right now. So, I mean, I know people, but like I ain't got this close relationship. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to swim, but let's do the Navy. Now, let me tell y'all why I don't know how to swim. I got traumatized when I was younger. Y'all remember when Euclid Beach was a little bit cleaner of a beach? That's just how long ago it was. My cousin threw me in the deep end, and like I got to the rocks, you know where the rocks at all the way. I got to the fucking rocks and I was traumatized to get off. And since then, like, I don't mess with deep. I never mess with deep water. Never wanted to learn how to swim, and that was it. Right? So y'all like, how the fuck you about to go to the Navy? Don't worry, the Navy gonna teach me how to swim. And I'm gonna be one of the ones like, hey, I can't swim. Me jumping off a 10-foot platform into 12 feet water? No, y'all gotta show me something real quick. Come holla at me. So I'm okay with that. Okay. So I'm thinking about all this stuff while I'm talking to my mom, and my mom was a sailor as well. And my mom, you know, back in the day, swimming was like in most public schools. Like most public schools has a swimming pool, but my mom went to Glenville and they did not. So she had to learn how to swim at aviation. It's a whole big story with that. My sister did learn how to swim. She learned how to swim because she was in the Shaker school system, and she was able to go, I think it was in middle school they teach them how to swim, but I didn't have that option because I didn't start Shaker till high school. So it was like I never wanted to learn how to swim, and plus that traumatic ass incident was like, no, I'm okay in the water. Like, I'm cool. Like, we can stay in the 3 feet, 4 feet area, maybe the 5 feet if I'm feeling nice, but we don't go past that. Like, and I could do better. Now let me not say this. I'm not scared of water. I can do the basic stuff. But when it comes to the certain strokes and to, you know, float and all, I ain't mess with that. So the Navy gonna teach me. So I'm going through this thing with my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I do want to do the Navy, but like I can't swim. She like, they'll teach you how to swim. Don't worry about it. So it was so many other thoughts that was going through my mind at the time. But the biggest thought to myself was, okay, I continue my civilian life where I'm at right now. I finish up on unemployment. I try to find me a job that I'm comfortable in, that's going to pay me my true worth. Like, because these jobs be playing out here for a civilian. Or I endure 2 months of boot camp, get out, go to tech school, and be in my position for the duration of my contract. And then I could contract, because let me tell y'all something too. I do have a background. Ain't no shame in my game. I understand I made mistakes. So those are all the things that I thought about. Like, I'm like, Mom, like, and I wanted a job in IT to be, you know, for real. I wanted a job in IT. I wanted IT, something with logistics, and another one was with like aviation, where you're like an aviation, a pilot or whatever. And I'm like, I know I ain't getting none of that because of my background, which is fine. My mom had that discussion with me. She like, all right, Danae, I'm gonna be real with you. You not gonna get them jobs your first contract. I'm like, all right. I'm like, as long as I ain't gotta go fight in war. I'm like, she like, we're sailors. We don't go fight in war. That's the Army. I said, she was like, the only time you get called to war if it's something to do with the water. I said, okay. I said, okay. I can deal with that. So, you know, we having this discussion, and she like, so what you thinking? I'm like, Mom, what else I'm gonna do? I mean, I ain't where I want to be because of this situation, and it was totally not my fault. And she understand that, because when it happened, we had whole conversations, and she kind of helped me see the dynamic and all that stuff. But I'm like, what else is there for me to do? She was like, I can't say that I'm mad at you. You done went to college. You got your degree. You worked in the job field. You worked in multiple job fields. So it's not like you didn't try. So what is there for you to do? So I'm like, you're right. So I'm thinking about all this stuff, and I'm like, okay. So she was like, take 2 weeks to think about it. Just take 2 weeks to think about it. I wish I would have did this sooner, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have been in a different situation. I probably would have been out of boot camp already, but it's all right. So I took the 2 weeks to decide and think about it. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I said, you know what? I'm 30 with no kids, no man holding me back. There's nothing else tying me to Cleveland but your mother and y'all, and I could come visit y'all. And she was like, yeah, but sometimes you get tip attached to your grandma. I'm like, I know, but it's time for me to let that go. My grandfather died in 2002. And, you know, when I entered and all that stuff, went into high school and all that stuff, like, I was her rock. I was the one where I'm here all the time, taking care of her. I'm looking out for her. I'm the grandkid that spent the most time with her. That's the dynamic me and my grandmother had. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna have to leave her. And I was kind of hurt by it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I really had to have a true conversation with myself. Like, do I want to continue being uncomfortable because I know there's more to life for me? Or do I have to make a decision and leave her because she understands that I have to go live my life? So I'm like, I gotta leave her. So I go talk to the recruiter. And I waited all the way to March 3rd. I'm like, okay. So I just remember talking to the recruiter, and I had a ton of questions. Like, what is it gonna be like for me? And I'm 30. What's the likelihood that I'm gonna pass boot camp? Like, I was asking crazy questions, and she was like, boot camp is not that hard. And my sister did confirm, and her wife did confirm it's not. So that put me at ease a little bit. And I was worried about jobs. She was like, when I took my ASVAB, I tested higher than really most of her candidates that's 18. So it was like, okay, I got a 61 on my ASVAB. Most people get 31 to like 50. I got a 61. And I hadn't been in high school and college in years. And it's like, oh, shoot. Some of this stuff, I ain't even know I remember, but I did. So here we are, you know. And I just was like, okay, on the right pace. And I just remember like studying for my ASVAB, and I'm like, some of this look familiar, some of this don't, but some of this really look familiar. I learned this in life. I ain't learned this in college. So it paid off. It paid off is what I'm trying to say. I tested high, so a lot of jobs was open to me. But due to my background, B, my medical, that's how I got catapulted into the job that I'm in now, right? So, y'all not gonna know what it is. It's an IC. And basically I'm like an electrician, a repairman. I handle like motherboards and computers and the phone systems, and I do repairs on that, basically, whatever ship or squadron I get assigned to. So that's my job. So as the process started to go on, I passed medical. I'm like, okay. Mind you, I still haven't picked my job yet. I'm like, okay, medical's done. So they had to submit a morale waiver for my background and my tattoos, because y'all know I got a ton of them. So they only did my front cover tattoos on my thighs and stuff that's gonna be seen in like my PT stuff or whatever. And those came back. I was like, okay, we're here. And next thing I know, I'm like, okay. what is next? Like, so the process began to become exciting. And next thing I know, like, everything been accepted in. Everything got accepted in on July 15th. That's when I officially enlisted. So I'm just like, oh my God, this is really happening. I am a enlisted soldier. Like, I'm official. I got a DOD number. You know, it's real out here for you, girl. But those 4 months was hard. Oh, baby, it was hard. It was so hard for me. I was mentally, I was like, I'm just like, why they not? I'm talking to my mom. I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm like, Mom, why they not saying nothing? They ain't gave me no news yet. Da-da-da-da. Like, she calling my sister in California. Why they ain't tell your sister nothing yet? What's going on? And like, my sister, see, here's the thing. My sister is what, 11 years past this process. So like, and where she at, her status, she up there. So she way past this shit. So she don't even know. So she asking her wife, because her wife is like closer, but her wife up there too. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And they're like, Danae, just calm down. Just calm down. You good. No news is good news in this type of situation. They ain't saying nothing. They processing everything. You got a lot of stuff you got to process. So it's like, it's going to take you a little time because you older. I'm like, okay. So I before the enlisted day, I get a text from my recruiter that the DOD is gonna call me. I'm like, fuck. I didn't know what to expect. The DOD called me and it really say Department of Defense, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta answer this call. So basically, it was an interview confirming everything on my background, which was fine because you got to do an FBI check. So they were just confirming everything and walking through the situations. Then the captain called me and he spoke to me and we had a real candid conversation. I'm not going to go into what the conversation was about, but he basically was like, I think you're an excellent choice to be a soldier, a sailor. And I was like, he was like, your mindset, your work ethic. He was like, I could tell you got great work ethic, because he was like, on your application, you had 3 jobs at one point in time. I said, I had to make the money. You got to understand. Like, I had to get it by any means. He like, I could appreciate that. And you don't have no kids? I said, no. We just out here living, baby. We got to, if I ain't got no kids, then I'm always working. What's the point of me not working? So, you know, and he was like, I think you're going to provide a different perspective than some of our younger recruits. I'm like, okay, all right. So he signed my waivers off, and and the big day had came. I posted it on my gram. Like, I got my first, it's called an oath of enlistment. I did that on the 15th of July, and it's just like, dang, I'm really here. I'm a future sailor. So a lot of people had questions about, like, as a 30-year-old, fitness wise, how do I feel? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not nervous about the fitness portion of this. I'm more so nervous about the toll it's gonna take on my body for the 2 months. Cause I've been in a regimen and I had to slow myself down a little bit because my knees are catching up. I'm bulletproofing them right now. I'm rehabbing them a lot. Don't worry. But so I'm not really concerned about it. Like, do I feel like I can run a mile and a half? Hell yeah. My mile and a half time is under 15 minutes. And the qualification for satisfactory for me is 15 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm fine. I'm 2 minutes under. Push-ups is like, the max is 44. I can do 50. And Navy SEAL push-ups at that. So when you go down, you do the knee, I could do 50 of those. So I'm like, nothing. Planks is 3 minutes and 2 seconds. I'm not even concerned. So am I concerned, like, the running thing? Yeah. But I've been, just like I do my training, I'm rehabbing just as hard. I'm building my knees up. I'm icing. I'm recovering. I'm this. I'm that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't listen. I've learned how to listen to my body. Yes, I do push my body to the limit. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I do. I got a bad habit. I'm terrible. But when it comes to when I need to perform, oh, your girl is cool. Like, your girl, she gonna be cool. Another question that I got at 30, from people about me being 30 entering the Navy. What is, like, what am I looking for? Like, what's my plan, essentially? Like, what type of quality of life I'm looking for? To travel, make money. I don't have a lot of debt. I got school loans, this car note, maybe a little small miscellaneous thing. I said I don't have crippling debt, so it's not a big thing for me. And like, I get from under, like, the GI Bill is gonna take care of my school loans. The little small debt I got about to be paid off. So I'm travel, and my money is mine. So I just want a better quality of life, because I've by the time I predicted I was gonna be at this point, I wanted to be married, have my have my house, be working my corporate job. That didn't happen. None of it. House, my grandma's house, if you want to count that. That's me. But that didn't happen. Like, I got cheated on twice. And I'm not gonna say we had the perfect relationship and I was the perfect girlfriend, because during those times, I did lack emotional intelligence, especially in my last relationship, because he was too comfortable and I didn't know how to express that. And for him to try to lead me, I didn't feel like he was a great leader in his position. So, and I lacked some emotional intelligence because I didn't ask the right questions. But I learned from my mistake. I've always led with the fact that I'm not dating, because this was another question. Do I plan on dating once I get to the military? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I personally believe that it's not meant for me to date. And that's okay. And it's perfectly okay. I'm okay with being single, kidless, travel the world, do my big one. I'm cool with that. I think certain people in life need to come to an understanding instead of being in toxic situations all the time, and just let them go. You don't need them. I find so much peace within myself that I don't think I need another person to come in and add to that, if that makes sense. Like, I don't need another person to tell me how to be happy or feel happy with them. If it happened, cool, but, like, I'm not looking for nothing. Absolutely not. Another question I got is, am I going back to school? I will probably, because I am going to take the route of just trying to become an officer and retire from the Navy. I will probably, if they require me to finish school, like, get some more credits and stuff, I would probably do that, but not really. I'm not going to fully enroll in school. I might do a semester here, a semester there, and it depends on where my career path in the military takes me, because I do plan to retire. So, but a lot of times we put ourselves in these positions where we allowed ourselves to be stuck. This is just my way of becoming unstuck. And, granted, Cleveland is home. My grandma's here, my parents here. But all of them understand it's time for me to go too. And saying that to say this, y'all, don't let Cleveland be the reason you don't go out and experience the world or experience life or relocate or move away, because Cleveland will hold you hostage. Let me just say it like this. Any hometown to hold you hostage. I'm gonna be for real, because it's home. Sometimes we gotta step out of our comfort zone to get the most happiness. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I was at Lord's, I felt at peace. I was happy. I was not doing the right things because I was in college. I was young. We're not going to talk about it. But I understood the difference. Now, saying that to say this, fear is a motherfucker. A lot of things that's holding us back is fear. I was fearful to even enlist. I was fearful to walk away from the norm of having a corporate job and, you know, living a certain life. And I was fearful of all of that. But it wasn't until I grew personally and mentally and spiritually where I found peace. So fear no longer exists. That's what it really came down to. I found out who I am as a person. I found out the things that I want in life. I found out spiritually what I have to do within myself. And fear don't even exist no more. So, I want y'all to do this, okay? I want you guys to do one thing, no matter how small, that scares you. And tell me how you feel afterwards. But I want to end this schmeal up. I want to thank everybody for supporting my channel, obviously, because it's new. And if you have not followed my channel, please subscribe to my channel and follow it. And if you haven't followed me on IG, follow me on IG. And my Instagram will be listed at the end. But I want y'all to really, really look at y'all life in a different aspect, because that's what the Navy did for me. And I want y'all to find peace, and I want y'all to find happiness in this too. So, like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all. Bye.